watching KPVI News at 5. KPVI News at 5. News that works for you.
It's a phrase that's becoming more and more common. One pill can kill. With the rise of synthetic opioids and overdoses, law enforcement are doing all they can to protect the public.
KPVI News that works for you journalist Kylie Gibson has been taking a closer look at this issue for us. She joins us now live from the newsroom. Kylie.
Thank you, Matt and Misty. Yesterday, we showed you how big of an issue illegal fentanyl distribution is in eastern Idaho and its often deadly repercussions. In part 2 of our investigative series, Fighting Fentanyl, I take a look at how local law enforcement is trying to keep up with the increase of the drug.
This epidemic with the fentanyl has affected all communities in the state of Idaho.
Even small towns across Idaho that were thought to be the safest areas are no longer.
In Power County alone, I can think of multiple cases where, unfortunately, people have lost lives or nearly lost their lives. One of the first for me was about 2 years ago. It was a 15-year-old boy that thought he'd taken a Tylenol, and we went and had to Narcan him several times to get him back because it was actually what we call the dirty 30s, the fentanyl pill.
Fentanyl comes in both a powdered form and a pill form, but right now, Bannock County is seeing a lot more of one of them.
We're seeing a lot of pills is what we're seeing. Pills through the mail is probably it's becoming more common. Pills being transported through couriers. I think as of this year, we've already recovered, seized at least 5,500 pills. That's since January, and I think last year was a fraction of that.
With the fentanyl crisis getting worse each day in eastern Idaho, law enforcement is getting help outside of their agencies to help combat the issue. One resource they've implemented is a tool called OD Map.
So we've been trying to find a way to measure for the communities the number of overdoses that are responded to by EMS. So OD Map then gives the first responder an application that they can put in basic data that's later able to capture, so we can see not only the number but the location of overdoses, so we can see A, how the resources are being used, these first responder resources, B, the number of overdoses that are present in the community, and see whether or not there is a kind of a geospatial commonality to those overdoses.
OD Map is a program that was developed by the High Intensity Drug Trafficking Area, better known as HIDTA. Since 2017, Bannock County has been designated by the U.S. Justice Department as a high-intensity drug trafficking area, a move aimed at providing communities being overwhelmed by significant illegal narcotics trafficking with more law enforcement resources to combat the problem. My father, Chris Gibson, is the executive director for the Oregon-Idaho HIDTA program.
HIDTA provides additional federal support to multi-agency law enforcement task forces that are tasked with identifying, investigating, disrupting, and dismantling drug trafficking and money laundering organizations.
With the help of HIDTA and OD Map, local law enforcement agencies are working together to come up with ways to battle this crisis.
We're doing a lot of things right now. We're working with our school resource officers. We're working on education. Our narcotics officers are out there. They're working on the enforcement end of things with our HIDTA. So they're working with the state police, the DEA, Bannock County Sheriff's Department, Chubbuck Police, Fort Hall Police, and our other partnerships. But I think through enforcement, education, and training, that's how we're going to be able to tackle this problem.
I'll have part 3 of this series looking at the resources available during this crisis. That's tomorrow on KPVI News at 5.
All right, thank you very much, Kylie. And if you missed part 1 of Fighting Fentanyl, you can find that on our website, kpvi.com.